Don't slam your car. That's why we can't have nice things. Today we're going to do a couple things to this car. My exhaust ripped off when I was driving on the highway. So in order to make the drift event on Friday, I have to change my exhaust because right now it's just scraping along everywhere I go. So I got a brand new ISR Performance GT Single exhaust, which is going to be a pretty comparable replacement for my HKS high power. And I've got an ISR Performance 4-to-2-to-1 header, which I'm really excited to put on because the design is pretty nice. And right now I have an S14 header hooked up to a Megan downpipe, and the downpipe is just scraped away. So I have 1,000,000,001 exhaust leaks, and my exhaust is scraping everywhere. So this new ISR setup is going to run way better, and I don't even remember how my car sounds without an exhaust leak. So I'm really excited to put that on. Also, another thing that's happening is I'm putting a new fuel pressure regulator on. One of my friends had a little issue with his fuel pressure regulator, so I sent him my Tomei FPR that was on here, and I put an FPR from an SR on here, and so it's running perfectly fine, but I would rather have my adjustable thing back in there. So what I did is I bought an ISR Performance adjustable fuel pressure regulator, which is pretty similar to the Aeromotive one. In fact, it looks exactly the same. So that's going to go on here too, and then I'm going to set up my alignment and everything and have the car ready for drifting on Friday. So first thing I'm going to do is remove the exhaust, remove the headers, and then put the new exhaust system on, and then I'll move on to the FPR. Okay, first I'm going to show you what happened here. So there's supposed to be two hangers here, one there and one here, and here is the second one. It just ripped right off of the canister. You can't really see where, but it ripped right off the canister basically. And there is a coat hanger down here. If my camera would focus on it, there it is. There's a coat hanger right here that's effectively holding up my entire exhaust system, which is really not fun times. So I'm gonna just pull this whole thing out and then just pretty much drop the ISR one in. Alright, the first thing you are going to need to do is get under your car, and you'll see your catalytic converter or your test pipe if you don't have a catalytic converter. But there are only 2 bolts on this flange here, and they are generally 14mm bolts. However, if you have a second-hand 240, they're probably not. They're probably some random size like mine are. So you just have to pop those 2 bolts off first, and then we can literally just pull the exhaust off after that. I would not pull the hangers off before doing this, because if you do that, after you bolt this off, the exhaust is going to fall on you, and that wouldn't be very fun. Alright, after you have the exhaust unbolted at the catalytic converter or test pipe, there's 2 hangers you gotta look out for. One of them is back here by the control arm, and then there's 2 over here right at the bumper. The best way to slide these out of the hangers is to spray a little bit of WD-40 or penetrating blaster or whatever, and they'll just pop right out of the hangers after you do that. So when you do that, just be prepared, because the exhaust is just gonna fall. Alright, so here's my old exhaust, and here's all that happened to it. Here's the spot where the other hanger broke off, and here's the other hanger, which is also broken, and that's just a hole. So that's really not doing much anymore. There was a crack right here that I welded up, and that seemed to hold, but I mean, this thing has seen better days, and You know, it is a really nice HKS exhaust, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to bring it back this time. So I'm just going to store it, and you know, hopefully I can repair it one day and maybe put it on the pig nose hatch build. But for now, it's just going to go to storage, and we're going to put the shiny new one on. So next thing we got to do is pull the headers off this car, because I am replacing those too. Alright, I mentioned earlier that I was running a weird header setup. Well, this is an S14 upper header, and it's hooked up to a Megan Racing turbo downpipe. So in my case, it's going to be really easy to take this off, because I'm just going to unbolt the downpipe and then unbolt the headers and call it a day. If you have a stock system, or if you have an S13 header in here, the best thing to do is just unbolt it here and then pull the whole thing out from above the car. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'm really sorry if you have an S13 set up, because it kind of sucks. Alright, so I originally said I was going to separate the two pieces since I have them separate, but those bolts are really rusty, so I'm going to see if I can just take these off and then get away with pulling it off from up here, which may or may not be impossible, but we're about to find out. Alright, so that's all 8 bolts off. So this thing should just kind of pop off now. I'm going to see if I can pull it out from up here with the test pipe attached. This probably won't work, but we'll see. Alright, this is not going to work because the hanger on the downpipe is in the way. So, since I have this halfway to the engine bay, all I'm going to do is unbolt it, because I can get to the bolts real easy from here, and then just pop it out. Don't slam your car. So you can't have nice things. Alright, so here's my entire old exhaust system. I gotta take this test pipe off, but this is the entire old system. Now, I'm gonna go fetch the new goodies. Alright, so you've seen my old setup, and I went ahead and broke that in half just for fun, but yeah. So here's the old stuff, and here is the new shininess. Now, this is the GT Single exhaust from ISR. They're always out of stock, but finally it came back in stock and I got mine. So here it is. What I like about this thing is this tip is extended. My HKS exhaust tip comes to about right here. So we've got another like extra inch or inch and a half on here, which I think makes the car look a lot more aggressive, and I like that look a lot. So there's that, and then I've got the ISR 421 header right here, which is another nice piece. It's got good welds and all that stuff. Only thing about it is the logo is upside down, which, you know, I don't really care that much, but I kind of wish it wasn't upside down, but you know, it doesn't affect anything, so whatever. Yeah, I'm gonna shut up now.
What if dust gets into the cylinder, blah blah blah.
If you've ever installed headers for an ISR GT before, you will really appreciate that. Alright, so the header is installed. O2 sensor is plugged in. And that's kind of how it looks in there. It looks pretty sweet, nice finished product. Now, one more thing before you start the car, make sure you clean off all of the fingerprints and grease and stuff that is on here, because after it heats up, it's just going to stay on there forever. So make sure you clean it up real nice before you start your car. But yeah, let's move on to the Catback. Alright, so before we put this on here, I'm going to go ahead and put this piece together so I don't have to deal with it underneath the car. This is pretty much just going to go on here like this, and we need to put a freaking gasket in here. Gasket to the included bolts. And go ahead and slide this on, and then put the nuts on here. Alright, before we time this, I got these vice grip clamps, and all I'm going to do is clamp these together so I can center these tubes by centering the flanges. And I went ahead and did this on the test pipe too. Because we want these flanges to be clocked properly, and we want them to be pretty much at the same distance to prevent any sort of turbulence or anything like that. So these are pretty much centered now, and I'm going to go ahead and tighten these a little bit so that I can take the clamps off and then finish tightening them. Yeah, the nut head's at 15. It's weird. And then the bolt head is 17, so interesting. That one's already tight. So, yeah, flanges are pretty much even. That's good. So now I can put this thing on the car.